Hello, everybody. It is a pleasure today to be joined by Dr. Jay from HARMAN. And my name is Oksana Avdeeva. I'm the global lead of patient engagement solutions at AWS. And today I'm going to be hosting this event where we will be seeing some demos of the platform. And also Dr. Jay is going to speak a little bit about the solution itself. So Dr. Jay, why don't you introduce yourself, and let's maybe start from speaking about the pain points that your solution is addressing.
Thanks, Oksana, and thanks to the AWS team for hosting me. And uh, I head the products and technology at HARMAN DDS. HARMAN DDS is one of the three business units within the HARMAN corporate. I'm responsible for building IP-driven products, solutions, and investing in new technology and emerging technology areas. Today, we are, delighted to discuss our solution called Intelligent Healthcare Platform, which has been primarily built on the AWS. And this is a platform which essentially is trying to solve a very critical problem in the healthcare uh, vertical, which essentially means that you are looking at data coming in from multiple entities in the healthcare value chain. We have an extremely fragmented value chain in healthcare, and different entities produce data at an exponential scale. And you have data coming in from various sources, various systems. We have data coming in from sensors, wearables, people, data from unstructured sources, structured sources, etc. Given the vast volume of data and the complexity of data, there is a challenge in terms of decision making. Many of the times, the data coming in from EHR systems are not correlated with data coming in from wearables. So we thought this is a real challenge to solve in the space, and we started building the Intelligent Healthcare Platform, which essentially provides a single view of data analytics and intelligence for decision makers.
Amazing. No, this is great to hear, and definitely a major unmet need in the industry. And what are some of the features? Maybe you could talk to us about the current features and also about those that you're envisioning in the future.
So I spoke about the challenge faced by the industry in terms of the variety of data, the volume of data, the complexity of data, and the lack of intelligence from all this data. So the first problem we attempted to solve in this entire scheme of things is to solve the data problem, which is what we're building something called the data machine. A data machine is a system which essentially helps enterprises explore all this data from various sources and provides all the tools and automated mechanisms to clean this data for further processing, which means that data coming in from disparate systems come into a customized data lake built on this platform, which essentially allows it for further analytics downstream. The next building component within Intelligent Healthcare Platform is what we call the intelligence machine. The intelligence machine is a combination of key AI and machine learning algorithms built by HARMAN. These are machine learning algorithms ranging from addressing problems like hospital readmission prediction, image analytics, video analytics, patient remote monitoring, etc. So these are all AI and machine learning algorithms built by us, which essentially unlocks the value of the data which is being processed by the data machine. The next component in this entire scheme of things is the analytics machine, because many of the enterprises want traditional analytics as part of their entire scheme of things. And that is when you actually bring in analytics, the descriptive analytics into this entire platform. And finally, we have a compliance and governance machine, which essentially ensures that the platform is compliant with global regulations, given healthcare being an extremely regulated industry. Let me show you a very quick demo of a few of these use cases we have built within the Intelligent Healthcare Platform. Let me come to the demo screen. The first demo I wanted to show is this challenge of hospital readmission prediction, where you have patients coming into various hospitals, and many of the times there is a challenge in terms of an early discharge of the patient, or the discharge of the patient not at the right time, which means that there is a high probability of the patient coming back to the hospital, which means there is a readmission and there is an overall cost to the system. And this is one of those challenges we are solving through Intelligent Healthcare Platform, where we provide all the data regarding the various patients in the hospital and give all the statistics to the decision makers. Now let's go to the recommended patient list, and these are some of the patients where they are scheduled for they are scheduled for discharge from the hospitals, and you can see all the various types of medications and the hospitalization they're undergoing. Now, we are now leveraging the machine learning algorithms which we have built to analyze, the decision of readmission. Let's say that now you're combining AI and machine learning and using the power of explainable AI to understand why this decision is being made. Now, on the right side, you can see that the model is telling you if the patient is discharged today, what is the rate for readmission. Now you can see there is a high readmission risk, and at the bottom we have built an explainable AI component which tells you which are the factors which are pushing this patient to be readmitted if they are if the discharge happens early, right? So there is a global explainability, there's local explainability. We also help the decision makers change the hospitalization days or any other parameters. For example, let's say the hospitalization number of hospitalization days is changed from 6 to 9, and we reanalyze this. Now the machine learning algorithm is running at the back end, and it is going through all this data with a new scenario, which is the hospitalization of 9 days, and it is analyzed, and now it is telling us that it is a lower readmission risk, right? So now you're changing a small parameter, and the engine is now recalculated the local explainability and the global explainability, which means that now you know that there is a lesser readmission risk given you're having the patient spend a couple more days in the hospital, right? So all this is happening in real time, and these insights are given to the decision makers so that they can play around with the system and get very, very intelligent results from the system. The next interesting example is remote patient monitoring. Now we all know that there could be patients who where there is limited scope for a 24/7 human available to monitor them. So this is where we are leveraging the use of vision AI to monitor the patients unattended. For example, on the right side, you can see there are various scenarios where there is a fall detected or a sudden movement detected. We have combined video AI, video analytics to anomaly detection to identify if the patient is going through an anomalous behavior, right? So for example, there are some alerts with respect to this patient, and we have provided some controls to protect the PII data of the patient. And we see that there is a problem with this particular patient's room, and you can actually go here and see what is the problem. Now you can see that from this video, you can see that the patient is actually fallen down, and there is the video AI monitoring the behavior of the patient, and you can see there is an anomaly which is actually occurred. This alerts is going to the decision makers, could be the hospitals, it could be the staff, and they can immediately rush the patient the moment there is an anomaly detected. The third interesting use case is all about image analytics, where we have data about COVID infected, X-ray. So this is a data we collected, from data patients, and this is an interesting image of there is a prediction for a potential pneumonia, and you can actually build explainable modules. So essentially, the engine is not just telling you there is a possibility of pneumonia; it is also giving you actual explanation as to what this challenge is all about. I hope it gives you a fair picture, Oksana, about what we are trying to do and what are some of the use cases with regard to this entire platform.
Yes, Dr. J, this sounds very interesting. And you were mentioning while you were speaking about those features that information gets transmitted into the specialist or the hospital and the action can be taken. So how is your solution integrated into the healthcare ecosystem, and what are some of the ways that stakeholders can interact with it?
Yes, one of the key facets when we are building this entire system is that we wanted to make sure that this system is completely interoperable with existing systems, the EHR system, the devices, the applications, platforms, etc. So the system is completely built on the AWS Health Cloud. It is cloud native. It is built on microservices architecture and leverages API. It is completely built on open source technology, so that it is very, very easy to integrate the system. You can integrate the entire architecture of the system, or you can even pick up pieces of the architecture. There could be customers who are just looking at the intelligence module. We provide that flexibility in terms of completely modular nature in which we have built this entire system.
Yes, this agility and flexibility is indeed very important for successful implementations. And technologies these days are also changing very rapidly. Do you also adapt, or how do you take into account those newest advancements in technology in your platform?
No, that's a very, very interesting question, because the type of changes which has been brought about by new technologies like generative AI, which means that we are constantly on our heels in terms of looking at what is happening. How do we analyze all this data? What are some of the newer mechanisms? What are the newer modules we can bring to place, etc.? So the traditional architecture principles in terms of modularity, flexibility, reusability, security, having open standards doesn't change. And those remain constant. And as long as you follow the best practices in terms of the architectural principles, and we have built the entire system based on best practices. And the way we have also built the system is future proof, in the sense that if there is a significant technology disruption, we can easily change some of the key parameters of the system. So that is the benefit of building it in an open fashion, and making it available through an API. And that is where the containerized approach helps us in terms of ensuring that if there are future changes, we can definitely pivot and make those changes for the architecture.
This is great. And where have you implemented it? Because such a great technology and the platform solution, I'm sure it would be very interesting to discuss where it was implemented, and maybe you can share some of the results that were achieved.
One of the interesting implementations of the system we have is with one of the most prestigious hospital in the US, where we have leveraged the remote patient monitoring component of the intelligent healthcare platform. Now, as you know, remote patient monitoring has become a critical element of patient engagement, where you want to monitor the behavior of the patients at any point of time using wearables or any of the other data coming in from the patients. So we're using the remote care platform component within the intelligent healthcare platform to monitor the behavior of the patients using not just the wearables, but also data. Some of the data is not captured by the wearable. We are letting the user take the photo of the readings or even enter the data manually, and all this data comes into the backend system. We are also providing peer-to-peer connect between the patients and the hospitals and the care providers, so that the insights we are generating from all this data is being made available to the decision makers so that they can suggest intervention. So this is a project which has been going on for one of our most prestigious customers, a large hospital in the US, for the last 1 year, and we are essentially running this as a fairly large scale pilot with a group of end users with whom we are constantly analyzing this data and testing the boundaries of how this platform will scale up and what new features we can bring about from a decisioning point of view.
No, this sounds great. Well, Dr. J, it was a fascinating story, and I really was impressed by how you build these platforms in a very patient-centric and also overall more stakeholder-centric way in the ecosystem. So I wish you lots of luck, and thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you, Oksana, and thank to the AWS team for having me on this discussion. Thank you.